Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is yet another thoughts on video. And for this video, I'm sharing my thoughts on the French cartoon series Oggy and the Cockroaches. Now, this is a show that, in all honesty, I'd never heard of until I was requested to check this out. And after watching it, yeah, this really isn't for me. And I'm going to go into more detail as to why soon enough. But before I get around to sharing more of my thoughts on this series, I want to give a special shout out to Radic for requesting this video. And if there is another TV show, film, or topic that you would like to see me cover in the future, feel free to donate to either my PayPal or to my Patreon. Link to both is in the video description down below, and I will try to get to your request as soon as I possibly can. Now, Radic, he just said, hey, review this show. Well, I have this thing set up where I only cover one season at a time. And that's what I did with Oggy and the Cockroaches. I only watched one season. And in all honesty, so many episodes, so many segments of this just really blended together for me because they're all pretty much the same with a little variation. It's a show created by Jean-Yves Rambaud. It's directed by Olivier Jean Marie, who directs the majority of the segments. It features voiceover work by Hughes Labars, Michael Elias, Hervé Lavendier. This is a series that I believe is so far it's lasted for 7 seasons. Uh, it only lasted, I think, for 3 seasons though when it comes to the original run. Then it was rebooted, and I think there's other spin-offs as well. There was a movie. There was some other rendition of the cartoon that actually aired in the United States for one season, but there was controversy associated with it because one segment aired on Nicktoons and it had topless nudity in it. There was like a scene of nudity in it. So, of course, that definitely sparked some controversy and it would never aired on Nicktoons again. Speaking of Nickelodeon, in like Southeast Asia, apparently, this was the only show that aired on Nickelodeon, as well as the Disney Channel and Cartoon Network. I can't even imagine that. I guess if this is the only thing you could watch, then I guess you could eventually get into it. Now, it's a slapstick cartoon show. That's what this is. In the vein of Tom and Jerry or old Tex Avery cartoons or Looney Tunes. And I'm not really a big fan of those kind of cartoons. I can watch them, but they're not something that is honestly one of my personal favorites. So, this show, after a certain point, it got really old for me. And no offense to Radic if he's a fan of this or anyone else who's a fan of this cartoon. Different strokes for different folks, different opinions are what keeps this world interesting. I'm all for them. This just was a very repetitive and honestly kind of annoying show. It starts with the opening theme, which by itself is really irritating. It's catchy, but it's annoying. There are some variations in terms of the kind of shenanigans and the kind of plots that you see that the characters get involved with. For most of the first season, the characters are Oggy, who is this cat who lives in this really nice house, and his friend, who is this other cat named Jack. And there are these cockroaches who torment the cats in various different ways. And the cockroaches are named after the Ramones, Dee Dee, Marky, and Joey. And they have different personalities. One's the leader, one's the jokester, so on and so forth. And the cockroaches, for the most part, are just annoying and just really mean. Just really mean to the cats. The cats are just really trying to mind their own business or eat some chocolates or eat french fries, and the cockroaches are just making their lives a living hell. I will give the cartoon this. The cockroaches don't always get away with their nonsense. The cats do actually get some comeuppance. So I think that's definitely a positive. It doesn't always happen though. Most of the segments deal with the cats or one of the cats being tormented by the cockroaches, and there's a chase that happens throughout the house, and the cockroaches wind up getting caught and get punished, or the cats wind up getting screwed over by the cockroaches. There are a lot of different sort of things that happen throughout the show, throughout the season. I will also give the writers credit for that. They are creative in terms of the different sort of scenarios that the cats or the cockroaches get involved with. Each episode has 3 segments. There were 26 episodes in the first season, and the animation quality for honestly something that isn't like a massive big budgeted cartoon, it's fine. It's definitely colorful. It's imaginative enough. There are some moments where some animation bits are recycled in the same episode though, which definitely exposes its lower budget. But when it comes to the slapstick, when it comes to the action in the show, it's animated well. There are some moments where you definitely see a bit of like Ren and Stimpy inspiration with the way some things are animated in more of a gross out kind of fashion. But yeah, I mean the quality of the animation is fine for what this is, and I would say one of the better things about the show. But I'm really not into the cartoon slapstick and the cartoon violence. There are some bits of that I enjoy, like some of the shorts and Tiny Toons, like the Furball shorts. But I'm not. That's not really my personal preference when it comes to animation or when it comes to cartoons. And honestly, I didn't find it to be that funny. So I didn't find it to be that funny, let alone that enjoyable most of the time, because I didn't really connect with the characters. I didn't connect with Oggy or Jack. I didn't connect with the cockroaches at all. So the first episode is 3 shorts. Bitter chocolate, it's all under control, and French fries. Bitter chocolate deals with Augie, and he's trying to eat these chocolates, but the roaches are giving him crap and try to steal the chocolates from him, and he chases after the cockroaches. And of course, it winds up not ending well for Augie because the house gets blown up in the end. And I don't even know if he even gets to enjoy like one chocolate because the roaches just screw him over. I think he actually gets one chocolate, but that's it. I'm like, he should just be able to enjoy his chocolates in peace without these cockroaches bugging him. It's all under control. Deals with Jack, who winds up getting controlled by the cockroaches. They jump into his head, and shenanigans and all that kind of stuff ensue. French fries is where Augie's trying to make some French fries, but of course the cockroaches are trying to steal it from him, and that's really it. That's That's what you get for the first episode. Second episode has 3 segments: Mission Augie, It's Been a Hard Day's Noise, and The Patient. Mission Augie deals with Augie trying to set up a security system to prevent the cockroaches from getting into his fridge. The cockroaches find a way to outsmart him. The Second segment, it's been a hard day's noise. It deals with Oggy trying to listen to music on a CD, but the cockroaches have trashed the CD players and the speakers. So Oggy's trying to repair them, trying to listen to his music, but the cockroaches mess with him. The patient deals with Jack getting sick, and then the cockroaches just screw him over, put stuff in his medicine, and it pretty much goes the way that you think it would. Episode 3 has 3 more segments: Shake, Oggy, Shake, The Rise and Fall, and It's a Small World. Shake, Oggy, Shake deals with Oggy getting given this ridiculous amount of caffeinated coffee, and he just starts shaking around like a jackhammer. Does everything super fast, but he doesn't do it very well, which aggravates Jack. And the cockroaches also use that to their advantage to continue to mess with Oggy and Jack. Rise and Fall deals with Jack for some reason building a skyscraper that's going to be his future home somehow. He invites Oggy to stay for the night, but Oggy is afraid of heights. And of course, the cockroaches arrive and make things difficult for Oggy and Jack. The third segment in the third episode is the first one that I kind of didn't mind because it was very creative. This one dealt with Oggy using a photocopier to somehow shrink himself down to the size of the cockroaches. And so then he goes inside different parts of the house that he normally isn't able to get into. And there's some good animation, and it's a creative segment. I still didn't really like it, but it was more tolerable to me than some of the other ones because of its creativity. The fourth episode has 3 more segments: Happy Birthday, Metamorphosis, and Jealousy. Happy Birthday deals with Oggy and Jack's trying to set up a birthday party for Oggy, and the cockroaches crash the party. The second segment, Metamorphosis, is the one where Oggy winds up getting turned into a cockroach. And that one was also kind of decent because of the creativity yet again, switching things up. Oggy's a cockroach. So that one was all right. The last segment of episode 4 is Jealousy. And this one deals with Oggy having like a girlfriend who actually is kind of hot. And then the cockroaches screw him over. They perform all these pranks. And then one of the cockroaches starts moving in on his girl and actually gets his girl. So, like, Oggy can't even get a girl. The cockroaches swoop in and take his girl. Like, give Oggy a break, man. Let him get some poontang. Leave him alone. Then you have episode 5, which has 3 more segments yet again. Wrong Side of the Bed. That's the first one where Oggy on a Friday the 13th gets involved in all these different accidents. And he thinks they're bad luck, but the cockroaches are behind it all. The second segment is Go Slow with Your Dough. This one deals with Jack trying to pay off a debt. He brings his money to Oggy's house, tries to hide it under a rug. But of course, the cockroaches decide to hide the bills. So Oggy can't find them. And it makes it hard. Because, Jack asked Oggy to find a hiding spot for it. And the cockroaches just make that difficult because that's all they do. The third segment in that episode is Tooth Good to Be True. This one deals with Oggy's tooth falling out, puts it under his pillow for some mouse to get it. And I guess that's something to do with, I guess that might be their tooth fairy, I guess, is a little mouse. So upon seeing Oggy getting a few coins for his teeth, one of the cockroaches is trying to lose his own teeth so he can get a can of soda. But he decides to lose all of his teeth and Oggy's teeth for money. But that, of course, pisses Oggy off. The 6th episode, 6 more segments, One Track Life. This one deals with Jack, who's really addicted to video games. Oggy's into trains. Cockroaches, they wind up screwing with the train, and it just is train shenanigans, model train shenanigans. That's what that one is. Mousegator is the Terminator parody where the cockroaches got ran over by Oggy's new remote control lawnmower, so they try to get revenge by building this Terminator, this cat Terminator machine that looks like a mouse, but it acts like an alligator. The last episode of episode 6 is 9 months and counting, the last segment. This is the one I was talking about, the inflation one, where the cockroaches inflate Oggy's belly, making him think that he's pregnant, but he's not. That is totally something that is straight up like fetish shit. Like, it's really creepy and weird. Episode 7, 3 more segments, a tip for the road. This one deals with like driving, Oggy trying to take driving lessons from a instructor who sucks, and then the cockroaches interfere with it. The second segment is the outsider. A mouse makes its way into Oggy's house, decides to take whatever it wants. Oggy's afraid of mice for some reason because he's a wimp, and the cockroaches don't get along with the mouse either, so they work together to get the mouse out of there. That one was kind of decent because, there was a shared problem that Oggy and the cockroaches had. It wasn't just the cockroaches making life hell for Oggy or Jack. It was like the roles were kind of reversed a little bit. The second segment of episode 7 is called Baby Doll. Oggy is playing with a doll for some reason. Why? I don't know. He's just into dolls now. And the cockroaches decide to take over the playhouse. And Marky falls in love with the doll and even marries it. And then Oggy is trying to, kick the cockroaches out of his playhouse to take back his dolls and his dollhouse. It was another strange one, to be honest. The first segment of episode 8 is So Lonely. This one I definitely didn't like. Oggy finally catches the cockroaches, seals them in a food can, and throws a can away. And then he feels bad. He's lonely now. Oh, the cockroaches are gone. I'm lonely. And I'm like, dude, like, you have the house to yourself now without these annoying cockroaches. Why is this a bad thing? And then it ends with him trying to find the can with the cockroaches in it. And him trying to play practical jokes on himself because he's lonely and he misses being tormented. I'm like, this is a Stockholm syndrome at its finest. It's like, hey kids, learn about Stockholm syndrome with Oggy and the cockroaches with this So Lonely segment. The second segment of episode 8 is Oggy and the Giant Roaches. This one is dumb. Oggy thinks that he's seeing everything the giant because the cockroaches implant binocular lenses into his eyes. The last segment of episode 8 is Oggy and the Babies. This one deals with 3 baby kittens that look like Jack, but the kittens are actually the cockroaches in disguise. And this is after Oggy and Jack actually successfully eradicate the cockroaches from the house again. So, in the same episode, they eradicate the cockroaches twice. And they still have to deal with the cockroaches. She's like, oh, come on now. And I get it because that's the whole point of the show. But like, you get it's still one of those things where it's like, man, like, just get them out of there. Like, why do you want them in your house? Episode 9 has 3 more segments: a carnival's in town, a dog day afternoon, and fishing frolic. Dog day afternoon deals with a puppy, and Jack and the cockroaches thinking that he's going nuts. But I guess there's no puppy or something like that. Like, Oggy arrives home after shopping and trips over a small puppy, takes it inside. He starts using his own nose as a squeezing toy to play with the puppy, but they think that Oggy's gone nuts. because Jack and the puppy, they're not seen at the same time. So, of course, other shenanigans ensue because of that. Fishing frolics, what you think it is. It's a fishing trip that goes wrong because of the cockroaches. And then the carnivals in town. There's a carnival, and the cockroaches screw things up. How this lasted 3, let alone 7 seasons is mind-boggling to me. Episode 10 has 3 more segments. Rock and Roll Attitude. It's a Long Way Down and Oggy's Night Out. Rock and Roll Altitude. It's not attitude, it's altitude. Deals with hypnosis and a 747 and the cockroaches messing with Oggy with hypnosis. It's a Long Way Down. Deals with Oggy and Jack. Jack goes mountain climbing. Oggy tries to read a book from his library, but he gets stranded on some very high bookshelves by the cockroaches. Then Oggy's Night Out has Oggy and Jack trying to have a meal at a fancy restaurant, but the cockroaches screw it up. Episode 11 deals with 3 more segments: The Time Machine, Oggy's Died, and Globalopolis. This one was one of the better episodes because it had some pretty creative shorts, like The Time Machine one where Oggy gets into an accident and then winds up going into building a time machine. Well, actually, Oggy doesn't build it. Jack builds it because Oggy gets into an accident and gets squashed into a disc. And so Jack builds a time machine and try to go back in time to prevent that from happening. And that was kind of entertaining. The second segment, episode 11, is Oggy's Diet. Oggy's overweight, so he's trying to put on a diet, but the cockroaches, of course, sabotage it. That was pretty weak, but the second segment I didn't mind, Globalopolis. This one deals with Dee Dee. He's swimming in Oggy's yogurt, and then Oggy drinks it, and then Dee Dee winds up inside of Oggy's body, and so you get to see the inside of Oggy's body, and it's gross, but it's creative and it's kind of interesting, leads to some fun animation. Episode 12, 3 more segments: Occupied, House for Rent, The Lottery Ticket. Occupied, Oggy's trying to use the bathroom. The cockroaches are just messing with him and screw him over and block him from the bathroom. House for Rent deals with the cockroaches trying to rent Oggy's house to some random redneck who winds up kicking Oggy out of the house. And then there's like a wrestler involved, weirdly enough. The last segment of episode 12 is a lottery ticket. Oggy and Jack win a lottery ticket number. They win the lottery, but Dee Dee gets a hold of it and, of course, screws everything up. So they even win the lottery and the cockroaches screw them over. This is not funny. It's more sad. You just feel bad for Oggy and Jack. Episode 13, 3 more segments. The Bait Bites Back, Deep End, Space Roaches. The Bait Bites Back actually deals with, more fishing stuff. And then the bait itself actually catches the cockroaches and uses them as fishing bait. So that was definitely different, and kind of didn't mind it because the cockroaches wound up becoming bait themselves. The second segment, Deep End, Oggy's trying to take a bath, but then the cockroaches screw him over and deflate his floating ring because apparently he's afraid of water. The last segment is Space Roaches. This one I didn't mind either because it's another one that's pretty creative where you get alien cockroaches from another planet who visit Oggy's house and team up with other cockroaches and hang out with the other cockroaches and screw with Oggy and Jack. Episode 14, 3 more segments: Granny's Day, Toys R Oggy, and Memory Lane. The first segment is Granny's Day. This is where you see a different character. It's Oggy's grandmother. and all she wants is 3 dead cockroaches for her birthday. But apparently she feels sad when she sees Dee Dee being sad about her wish and then changes her mind. And I'm like, screw those cockroaches. Yeah, you should get them dead and buried for your birthday, Granny. Then the next one, Toys R Oggy, toys, cockroaches, toys are screwing Oggy over. Typical stuff that you've seen with the show at this point. Memory Lane. Oggy finds some old love letters from some girl that he used to go to school with, but the cockroaches wind up faking the date and replacing Oggy's deodorant with his homemade insect repellent that smells. So they go above and beyond now with their pranks here and catfish poor Oggy. Episode 15, 3 more segments, the hiccup. Oggy goes snailing and Cat Kit. The hiccup. I mean, Oggy just winds up getting really strong hiccups. And the cockroaches then get involved with it. Oggy goes snailing. He finds a snail and keeps it as a pet. Then brings in more snails. And then shenanigans and slippery pratfalls ensue. Cat Kit deals with a roach catching trap that Jack arrives with, tries to get it to work, but of course it doesn't. Episode 16, 3 more segments, documentally, The Dictator, Oggy versus Super Roach. Documentally is kind of interesting because Oggy gets a video camera in the mail and then tries to create a documentary about the cockroach's final demise. But the cockroaches, of course, turn the tables and then steal the tape and then humiliate Oggy with it. The Dictator deals with Jack starting to act like a ruthless, superior-minded dictator to Oggy. And then it becomes... This is social commentary. So this one is like, okay. This one is definitely intriguing because now it's like, talk about the proletariat, and I'm like, okay, all right. I did not see that coming with this show. Still not a fan of this show, but okay, I'll give it credit for actually being willing to have a segment in a kids' cartoon show that is talking about dictatorships. The last segment of this episode, Oggy versus Super Roach. This one deals with Dee Dee getting struck by lightning. He gets superhuman strength, but it goes to his head, and he's not only just giving Oggy trouble, but he's also giving his fellow cockroaches trouble. And of course, it doesn't end well for Dee Dee. Episode 17 is called Beware of Destruction. The first segment is called Beware of Destruction. The other segments are Heat Wave, Oggy, and the Magic Flute. And this one deals with Jack trying to renovate Oggy's house. Cockroaches steal his cement. They mess with him. They just make everything worse. Heat Wave. Cockroaches are trying to prevent Oggy from getting a suntan. Oggy and the Magic Flute. There's a snake charmer on TV. Oggy makes his own flute. And it actually hypnotizes Marky into being loyal to him, which pisses off Dee Dee and Joey. Episode 18 is 3 more segments: The Bird of Ill Omen, Duck Soup, and Winner Takes All. Bird of Ill Omen deals with Oggy, of course, minding his own business as usual. Turkey comes running in, and then there's a hunter that shows up who's got seeing issues. And then the hunter starts going after Oggy because he thinks that he's a turkey. Duck Soup deals with Oggy and Jack trying to make him prepare duck soup for their dinner. But the duck is being a problem, and the cockroaches make it worse by inviting the duck's friends to show up. And then the ducks and the cockroaches wind up taking over the house. Winner Takes All deals with Oggy and Jack getting more and more frustrated because of a game of chess that goes awry because the cockroaches keep stealing pieces. Episode 19 is 3 more segments: The Ghost Hunter, Bug Ball, and Happy Campers. The Ghost Hunter one was all right because it dealt with the cockroaches being killed with a frying pan, and then their spirits come back and then torment and haunt Oggy. And then Oggy has to do some kind of ritual to deal with the 3 cockroach ghosts. Bug Ball is just really weak. Oggy gets a bouncy ball, tries it out, it's destroying everything. Then things get worse when a cockroach swallows it. Happy Campers, camping trip that goes wrong because of the cockroaches. I mean, it's just pretty predictable. Episode 20, 3 more segments: The Piggy Bank, Oggy's Clone, and A Truce for Christmas. The Piggy Bank deals with the piggy bank. Oggy, his piggy bank is locked away from him by the cockroaches. Actually, what happens is Oggy puts a padlock on the fridge. He puts a key in his piggy bank for it. But when Oggy gets thirsty, the cockroaches make the piggy bank indestructible, so he can't figure out how to get the key. Oggy's Clone deals with some prank where they frame Oggy by dressing up as him and attacking Jack. Truce for Christmas is a Christmas episode. The cockroaches try to ruin his Christmas, Oggy's Christmas. But after they're thrown outside, Oggy makes a truce between them. But Jack has to try to survive a snowstorm to get to Oggy's house for Christmas. And this one was kind of sweet. Captured the Christmas vibes pretty well. Episode 21, 3 more segments: TV Obsession, Race to the Finish, Monster from the Mud Lagoon. TV Obsession, Oggy's addicted to TV. This does not stop the cockroaches from having fun by messing with his TV. Race to the Finish deals with a remote control car and the cockroaches messing around with that. Monster from the Mud Lagoon. This one I kind of didn't mind because it's like a horror episode. Oggy watches a scary movie about a monster from the Mud Lagoon. Jack trips over a mud puddle, and because of that, Oggy thinks that he actually is the monster. So then the cockroaches just keep intensifying Oggy's fear for Jack and making him believe that believing that his fears are true. You know, believing that Jack is the monster from the Mud Lagoon. The 22nd episode, 3 more segments: The Garden of Horrors, Caught in a Trap, Blue Sunday. First segment, Garden of Horrors. Oggy's trying to do a garden, and then the cockroaches are messing with him, along with a hedgehog and an angry bunny. Caught in a Trap, the cockroaches wind up making a huge mess that I guess makes Oggy's eyes pop out of his head, which is honestly pretty freaky looking. And then Oggy wakes up and his house is messed up. He's trying to protect his fridge from the cockroaches. And there's something involving a trap. Blue Sunday deals with the cockroaches going along with Jack and Oggy on a Sunday trip to the beach, but they wind up getting stuck in a traffic jam. Episode 23, 3 more segments: Cloning Around, 3 Wishes and You're Out, and Virtual Voyage. Cloning Around deals with some gas that eventually causes a clone. So Jack creates a cloning gas and clone shenanigans ensue. 3 Wishes and You're Out deals with a Bedouin who's lost in the desert. He finds a magic lamp. He uses 3 wishes to get a palace, a pile of gold, and love and girls. But if he forgets to wish for water, the genie is then he's eventually chased out after being attacked by the Bedouin and ends up in Oggy's house in New York. Of course, the cockroaches get involved with that too. Virtual Voyage. This one deals with a trip inside of the electrical system and inside of the internet, where Joey winds up going inside of the electrical system to return to the real world, but there's system errors, there's all kinds of bugs, and and Jack is trying to prevent Oggy and Joey from winning this cyber war, because Joey winds up going in there to try to mess with Oggy. That one was okay because it was creative yet again, with the whole going inside of the internet and an electrical system. This show is tolerable when it's creative, and it's actually trying. I'll give it that. When it's just lazy and uninspired, it's boring. Episode 24 has 3 more segments: The Abominable Snow Moth, The Neighbor's Cat, and A Night at the Opera. The abominable snow moth, a moth, comes in, messes with Oggy, eats his yarn. The neighbor's cat deals with this overweight woman who treats Oggy as a pet dog. And then the cockroaches want Oggy to stay that way for some reason. I don't understand. Doesn't make any sense. They just hate Oggy. Night at the Opera deals with Jack going to perform at the opera as a tenor. And Dee Dee's trying to join in, tries to team up with him, but Jack tosses him into the trash, and then he tries to ruin the performance. And that's another one where it was like, okay, they're doing something different here with the setting. It's an opera, but it's another one where you're like, just let Jack do his opera performance. Leave him alone. So much of this is just leave these cats alone. Episode 25, 3 more segments: Honeymoon, Looney Balloons, and Beachcombers. First segment, Honeymoon, deals with Oggy eating some jam, and then a bee shows up, and this is an old bee that apparently Cockroach Joey's in love with, which causes a honeymoon, and it irritates Oggy. Looney Balloons deals with Oggy and Jack sharing a ride in a hot air balloon, and then it becomes a mess because the cockroaches show up. Beachcombers deals with the beach, Oggy trying to enjoy his beach time, but then the cockroaches screw everything up. That's literally recycling a segment that already existed in the season, with Oggy or trying to enjoy a beach trip and then the cockroaches messing shit up. The final episode of season 1 has 3 more segments: Emergency Room, Oggy and the Magic Broom, and Oggy Van Winkle. Emergency Room deals with Oggy being sent to the hospital and the cockroaches messing with him at the hospital. Oggy and the Magic Broom deals with a wizard who shows up at Oggy's house. And then, of course, the cockroaches fight over the wizard and want to use his flying broom against Oggy. I don't know why it's a wizard instead of a witch, but okay. And then Oggy Van Winkle, it's like Rip Van Winkle. The cockroaches get a zapping from Oggy's newly invented time freezing gun. And then, because of a poodle pissed on them, which is just gross, the cockroaches wake up in the future where they see Oggy and Jack at a very old age. Cockroaches try to take advantage of this, which results in a fight in the future. That one was all right too, because it was once again pretty creative, you know, taking the Rip Van Winkle story and then adding the Oggy and the cockroaches characters into it and having this whole stuff in the future. But I still wouldn't say that this was a particularly great season or a particularly good cartoon series. Even the best segments were just mediocre for me. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on Oggy and the Cockroaches. So, until the next video, I'll see you later. See ya.